What's the hurry?
Or it's gone. It's limited.
Oh, I like that limited edition podcast.
That'd be cool. We should do that as an incentive. We put out an episode and we leave it up for like 3 days and then it's just gone.
Except on patreon.com/theofficial podcast, where you can get the whole archive if you pay.
Yeah, that's true.
Including bonuses every week, every 2 weeks.
We've been fucking on point with the bonuses. Okay, what do you want to talk about? I have video games don't. Okay, some guy scammed Amazon out of $370,000 by sending back boxes weighed with dirt instead of the returned product. So
That's so classic.
Wouldn't they catch him after the first time?
Yeah.
I don't understand
So-
how he could keep doing that.
What a classic scam.
the
I
way it
appreciate
works
that.
is when you return a product or you just... If you don't pick up a box, let's say a delivery, eventually it'll get picked back up, sent back to Amazon, but it takes a couple of days, I suppose, for them to actually process it. But by then, you already have your money back. So this guy would get it, take out whatever it is he ordered, like a laptop, fill the box with dirt, the equivalent weight in dirt, and return the box. And he made $370,000. He was caught. He was 22 years old, so now he owes Amazon all the money, I suppose.
Has he started a GoFundMe yet?
He started a company. The report said that Kwarteng, the guy, eventually had such a substantial turnover that he ended up founding a limited company. He turned it into a business.
We'll fill your Amazon packages with dirt, guaranteed.
Yeah, wait. He started a business based around scamming the biggest company in the world. That's pretty bold.
Yeah. Dude, they're gonna come for you. They'll come for your fucking thumbs.
Yeah, that's probably like the one company I wouldn't recommend fucking with is Amazon.
Yeah, dude, Jeff
Who knows what
Bezos
they're capable of.
is a man's man. I wouldn't fuck with that guy. Remember when somebody threatened they were blackmailing him with his nudes and he just went, "Come at me, bro, release them, bitch." And he just fucking nuked.
Yeah, he wants them to release it.
He nuked a newspaper. It was fucking amazing.
Looks
That
like
guy got
Timaeus
balls.
isn't here today. Customers? Oh, pardon me. Are you looking for Timaeus? No. Just strange for him to not be around. Paimon always sees him standing here. I see. He was called away by Albedo a little while ago. I was called over to attend to the store. I'm Sucrose, Albedo's assistant. If you have any alchemy-related queries, you could always ask me. I do my best to help. Huh? Do I look nervous? My apologies. I don't get out too often. I'm usually in the laboratory where there aren't many others to talk to. If you need any help, just call my name. If not, I'll be reading a book. Over there. Thanks. No worries. We're all clued up on the basics of alchemy, aren't we? Hey, aren't you the legendary traveler? The one who repelled Storm Terror? Thank you. I've heard so many stories about you. Always wanted an opportunity to research you up close. What do you mean, research? Sorry, don't mind me. What am I saying? Still, you'd definitely be able to help Albedo. There's that name again, Albedo. Is he also an alchemist in Monst? Apologies. I never introduced him. Albedo is the Knights of Favonia's chief alchemist. He's all— But Paimon's only ever seen Timaeus teaching alchemy. So that means Albedo is a teacher? Yes. He's dedicated himself to investigating the truth of this world, and has made many an important breakthrough. We often get alchemists coming to Mondstadt from all over Teyvat, seeking his help. They say that the subtlest of guidance from Mr. Albedo helps him to solve the most unfathomable of problems. Wow! Paimon didn't know he was such a big deal! Mm-hmm. Still, it seems that he's encountered a problem in his research recently. Every time I see him, he has a concerned look on his face. I'm sure that Albedo would love to hear about your incredible exploits. I know it would bring him lots of new inspiration. Albedo is a true gentleman. He'll be sure to pay you back in equal measure for helping him out. Paimon doesn't need any help in that department. But if Albedo wants to pay Paimon back for helping him, a few more might settle the score. Albedo and Timaeus will be conducting research in the mountains right now. I'd love to take you both to see him, but somebody has to attend to the store. I'm afraid you'll have to go to the entrance to the pass and look for him by yourselves. Look out for a refined gentleman with the presence of a true scholar. And... sorry. That's the best I can do. You'll have to do your best. Hey, stop worrying. We got this. Sucrose is a whole lot...
Seems all...
Anyway, let's go and look for Albedo. Practice is about to...
I've told you already, I don't go in for that kind of thing. I've got more important matters to attend to.
Oh, but this event has commemorative significance. The church hopes that all sisters will be present.
Hopes? That's odd, 'cause I don't recall a fulfill the hopes of others clause in my job description.
I mean, sure, but...
But what? You're the event organizer, aren't you? Do you not find it the least bit odd?
What do you mean?
This far out from Mondstadt at this hour? Even if you set out right now, I'll wager you'd still miss the opening ceremony. Who knows? Maybe this is someone's grand plan to make a fool out of you.
Huh? Well, that can't be. People aren't like that.
Evidence decides what people are like, not your feelings. Maybe you're a little too trusting of other people. Don't fret, nobody's gonna blame you if you go back empty-handed. I can't imagine anyone else was delusional enough to think I was gonna show up. But if you dally any longer, you really won't make it.
You're right. It's a very important commemorative event. If I'm late, then... right, I've gotta get going. Seems like that nun's an expert in making people believe anything she wants.
I thought I heard something. Who are you and why are you eavesdropping?
We better watch out. She seems like a dangerous villain, or a trickster at best.
Oh, really? I'm a member of the long-standing Favonius Church. You're an eavesdropping pixie from who knows where, and you think I'm the trickster?
Wait, she heard that? Paimon was whispering so quietly.
And as for this outlander you seem to be following... So it's you. The honorary knight that saved us from Storm Terror. Well then, given your status, I won't press you on your reasons for eavesdropping. Otherwise, depending on your answer, I could have arrested you on the spot.
What? Do the nuns of Mondstadt have the authority to arrest people now?
We can't go turning a blind eye to hidden dangers, can we? Why shouldn't sisters have a sense of justice?
That doesn't sound right. But Paimon can't think of a good comeback.
Let's talk about you. What are you doing in the mountains? If it's him you're after, I made a point of noting his tracks. Many people have made their way up after the snowstorm. Let's hope they're still there.
So, are you also looking for him?
No, this is just a professional habit of mine. I sensed elemental traces in these tracks. Never hurts to be vigilant. I couldn't care what you think. Come on then. I'd like to see what he's up to anyway.
Rosaria said there were elemental traces in the tracks. They should show up pretty clearly with elemental sight.
You know, little pixie, your ability to appear and disappear at will is very interesting.
Yeah?
After committing a crime, you'd be able to leave the scene without a trace.
It's getting colder and colder. Rosaria, aren't you freezing?
Me? I'm all right. I got used to operating in adverse conditions a long time ago.
Seems like there's more to being a nun in the Favonius Church than Paimon realized. Is that Albedo? Why would he hang around a place like this?
The word on the street is he loves sketching. He'll hang around anywhere for a good landscape. The views and scenery here are pretty good. Sketches everywhere you look.
But can't he see those hilly churros? Isn't he in danger? Uh-oh. Looks like we startled them. Enough talk. Let's take them out of the picture first.
Who are you? Why did you alarm them? Thank the gods I'd already completed my sketch. Would have been a shame to leave these particular hilly trails unfinished.
What's up with sketching hilly churros? What makes them so interesting?
I'm afraid the answer isn't easy to explain. If you'd like to have a look at my sketch, it may give you a clue.
Wow! Look at the detail! But some of it seems to have been done in a hurry.
You can find these hilly trails anywhere. Quite boring, in fact. Not worth closer inspection. But take a look at this specimen. The build, the coat, and there's a distinct force at work here. In the cyclical lives of such primitive communities, such unique attributes are an indication of evolution at work. Evolution, the transition from nothing into existence, from the known to the
Hold your horses. Something tells me we're in for a thesis and I haven't got the stamina. We found your man. I'm headed back.
What? Don't you have any questions for weirdo.
So Sister Rosaria brought you. Surprising. And I didn't have time to thank her. But back to the point. From her words, it seems that you were looking for me?
Mm-hmm. We met a girl in Mondstadt, Sucrose. She said you were stuck with your research.
I see. So Sucrose sent you here. Then, if I'm not mistaken, you must be the honorary knight. You've got the whole of Mondstadt talking. I've heard a bit of everything. Your actions during Storm Terror's attack, your elemental control, and quite a few other mysterious things. I'll skip to the conclusion. There's only one possibility after all. You came from afar. From another world, correct? Excellent. If I could procure your assistance, I think my research would benefit enormously. Forgive me. This must be confusing. Where should I begin? The essence of life?
Whoa. You want to start with that?
You're right. Giving a demonstration would be better than trying to explain. For example, awakening life. Breathing new life into fallen leaves.
You can do that?
However, I have a particular seed in my possession. The method I'm talking about has produced no results. It's like you, in that it hails from another world. Helping it to grow, to bloom. That's the problem my research is up against. That's where I need your assistance.
Well, if you're struggling to figure it out, Paimon's not sure we're gonna be much assistance.
I beg to differ. I'm unable to comprehend the intricacies of life outside of the known world. But you're not from the known world. By observing and researching you, I may just be able to find a way to get the seed to sprout.
Shall we just get out of here? This sounds a little freaky.
It's possible. But I will do everything in my control to ensure your safety. Time for a change of surroundings. We should be going. There's research to do.
Albedo and that traveler seem to have hit it off. Takes a weirdo to know one, I guess. I wonder, does this constitute a risk to Mondstadt?
Question. After the seed sprouts, will it grow into anything?
I don't know. But I feel the importance will lie in the method, not the endpoint. Using alchemy to awaken otherworldly life into that would constitute a big leap in my understanding of the essence of life. After awakening, even creation may be possible. Still a little difficult to understand?
But what's the seed gonna become? Isn't that more interesting than whatever it was you were saying?
Well, if it turns out to be a delicious fruit, dinner's on me.
Yay! Paimon's holding you to it.
Well, let's just say I, occasionally have to look after a child. Another lengthy explanation, I'm afraid. I suppose it's one of the few non-alchemy-related disciplines I'm any good at. The subject of my first research was the elements. In this world, manipulating the elements requires a vision. Though I can't see anything resembling one on your person. How you're able to freely manipulate elemental power is something I'd like to ascertain. I've got a few questions in that regard. Firstly, do you have any extra organs? A second heart? A fourth stomach? Things of that nature. Fascinating. And this floating child is connected to your body in some way?
What a stupid question! Can't you see the gap between us? And another thing, it's Paimon, not floating child.
I was merely considering the possibility that you were an external organ. Perhaps there is some invisible force connecting you. Oh, that rules out that possibility. I wonder, did Paimon guide the elemental power to you? But that would mean that Paimon's elemental power would be enough to break through a mountain rock at least 10 meters thick, or cause the waterfall south of Springville to flow backwards. No, that definitely can't be it.
Hey, how would you know anyway?
In that case, it would appear that there's no obvious difference between the composition of your body and that of the humans in this world. Given that there's clearly a discrepancy in their research, it seems that only experimentation will yield the answers. Firstly, this mysterious elemental power. I'd like to examine exactly how it manifests externally. Let me lure a few slimes to the area. Perhaps you'd be able to defeat them, using whatever method comes most naturally to you.
Huh? Doesn't seem very sciencey.
Direct and clear observation are imperative to a good experiment. This is just a simple exercise. Naturally, if you require a greater challenge, we could bring in 6 Oceanids.
Slimes! Slimes are fine.
Well, prepare yourself. The slimes will be here any moment.
Oh, looking nice and spicy.
Barbados! Guide us!
You're toast!
As you wish, main Fräulein.
Booba, get them!
Great work. Did you feel anything out of the ordinary? If you're injured, I have a few emergency potions ready. Excellent. According to my observations, the manifestation of the external elemental flow is as expected. Elemental reactions are normal. There's nothing out of the ordinary. Now that we know that the external flow is manifesting normally, let's test the internal flow.
Internal flow? How do you test that?
It's very simple. I can use alchemy to create a potion that will extract elemental power. If the elemental power is stored or accumulated physically within your body, this potion may elicit an elemental reaction.
Sounds kinda terrifying.
Don't worry. In the normal course of events, you'd feel some temporary queasiness. No bodily injury.
And in the abnormal course of events?
If anything unexpected occurs, I've made the necessary preparations. Well, it's not that there aren't any risks involved, but if there is anything blocking your elemental flow, we'll be able to locate it with this test. Just a warning. If an internal elemental reaction occurs for any other reason, that's a bad sign. Yes, that's an excellent way to think about it. Before we get started, the potion we'll use for the test is missing a catalyst. We'll need to find it. It's a type of ore known as star silver, but unfortunately not all of it is suitable. I'll take you to my campsite. We can gather some star silver ore on the way. I'll point out any likely contenders. All going to plan, we should be able to begin concocting the potion when we get to the campsite.
Paimon's still got a few safety concerns, but it seems like there's a silver lining. Let's keep our eyes open.
Cool it!
Here. Should do for catalyst purposes. This one. Usable with a bit of polish. What luck. This should be enough. My campsite is just up ahead. I'll lead the way.
What's the hurry?
This is my campsite. I've added the materials we collected to the concoction. While we are waiting, have a look over here. My assistant Timaeus here is helping me with my research. I'm guessing you may have met in Mondstadt already.
Hello! I've just gotten hold of the data from your experiment. The report is already up on the board there.
Whoa! Look at all the data! You got all these results from one slime battle?
I wouldn't call them results, inferences, and a few daring guesses perhaps. I think the most rational direction would be to expound on the phylogenetic relationship between this traveler and the slimes. Consider. You don't have a vision, but you can manipulate elemental energy. The slimes don't have visions either, yet they too are able to manipulate the elements. Following this line of thought, I'm sure we'll be able to establish a basis in fact.
Not bad for a point of entry. But strictly speaking, slimes are elemental life forms. In other words, beings consisting entirely of the elements. A cryoregisvine, or even a whopperflower might be a better analogy. But tracing back the phylogenetic relationships between plants and animals, you might have to trace back to the world's origins. In that sense, things might get difficult, don't you think?
Yes, sir. That sounds correct.
After all, we've got our primary data already. This traveler is a visitor from another world. If it turned out that she did have a phylogenetic relationship with this world... Now that really would be something, wouldn't it?
Ah, it would. Apologies. I was so excited to get the data. I'll slow down a bit next time. Speaking of data, to complete our research, we'll need some more. I'll be conducting analysis here for the time being. If you're keen for an update, just come and find me.
Great. I'll leave you to it. Looks like the potion's ready. I'll try a little first. If all goes well, I'll hand it over to you. In line with my expectations. Ready to drink. Remember to keep calm at all times. And breathe deeply if you feel unwell.
Seems all the other
Tasty? You've got a funny look on your face. You said you tried some already. You sure it was ready? What's happened to her?
Oh, this was the result I was expecting. And a very positive one at that. This potion channels elemental power into the body. Under normal circumstances, a repelling reaction is to be expected. But if the internal elemental flow is unimpeded, you'll only experience momentary discomfort. Once the flow is complete, there won't be any other effects.
So you knew you'd be sick and still drink some?
It was my own concoction, of course. Only natural for me to be the guinea pig. Perhaps it's just scholarly self-assurance, and it certainly speeds things up. In conclusion, I'd say we have our conclusion. As far as elemental energy is concerned, you're no different from anyone else in this world. Nothing peculiar.
Aw, Paimon wanted something cooler to happen.
Then again, better an ordinary result than a peculiar result. Peculiar results have a tendency to be of the undesirable variety. The good thing about ordinary is that everything is an object of reference, and everyone understands you. People are the same. They can understand, empathize, encourage, and support one another. When you're sick, a doctor can diagnose you because they are you. When something goes wrong, you can ask people who've made the same mistake for their experience because you are them. But a peculiar person, they don't have much recourse for the things we take for granted. The essence of their life is fundamentally different. For example, a human can't understand the life of a pyroregisphine or an Eye of the Storm. Have I explained it clearly? To sum up, this has been a positive outcome. Going forward, you can use your elemental power without fear. Timaeus, the results of the new experiment are out. If you could see to collating them.
Just a moment, sir. I'll handle it. Oh, you gave me a lot to consider. Really stretched my limits. I'm thinking a lot clearer now. Oh, having you down as an animal wasn't very precise of me, but starting with the premise of an elemental life form, now that was...
Not bad. I think it's an interesting line of inquiry. Whatever the truth of the matter, I'd like your research at the fore as opposed to my judgment.
You can count on me, sir. I'll extract a result satisfactory to all.
Is he trying to join the Knights? He's starting to sound like a suck-up. What Paimon meant to say was, that's the spirit! Mr. Albedo, say something!
Before we can proceed with our research, I need to... prepare something. Wait one moment. If you're interested, why not have a look around? It may help to pass the time.
Here comes Albedo! Let's go see him!
I'm back. Did you see anything interesting? Agreed. I'd love to find a moment to put them all in order. Still, experiments come first. Well, on with the research. There may be significant differences between different worlds. Take Tevat, for example. Here, those with visions can manipulate the elements. But worlds may well exist where only one person is able to do so. Or even everyone. So, leaving elements to one side, do you possess any unique abilities? Ones that don't exist in this world? I think answering this question calls for the same methodology as last time. In other words, time for... No. You shan't be required to exert quite so much effort this time around. Now, see this pillar here? Use your willpower to try and break it.
You think Paimon knows how to do that stuff?
That was your best effort? Well, can't be helped, I suppose. Have you tried using your elemental power with food? I don't mean for cooking as such. Rather, channeling your power into the ingredients themselves. I'm curious to see how the taste and texture respond. It may even help with proliferation. I suppose I have a curiosity for things that others find surprising. Anyway, why don't you cook us up a sunshine sprat? I've just finished preparing the recipe.
Cooking? Paimon was looking forward to more mad scientist stuff.
Not only is this recipe a staple for me, it's also worth experimenting with and highly nutritious.
Paimon bets you're just hungry. That does sound yummy, though. Okay, Paimon approves. Good buddies are always on the same page.
I'll leave you to it then. Looking forward to the results. If there's anything left over, maybe Timaeus can finish the last morsels.
Paimon doesn't think we'll have that problem. How are we gonna channel elemental power into the food? Maybe try the willpower thing again. Where does it get these ideas from anyway? Let's just do it the old-fashioned way.
What's the hurry? What's the hurry? What's the hurry?
That was fat. That was fast. That was fast. Looking for... An average outcome experimentally, but you've really brought out the flavor. You seem well versed in the science of gastronomy. As far as the proliferation hypothesis is concerned, we've come up short. Seems like food presents the same headaches in your world as it does ours. Unless... could it be that the natural laws of this world are limiting your unique abilities?
We just didn't know how to channel elemental power into the food. It's a little more complicated than adding herbs and spices, you know.
Not to worry. At least we put some food to good use. No need to feel disheartened. And here's your portion. Enjoy. I can box it up if you like.
Woohoo! Thanks! Glad you were paying attention.
I can tell that you're good friends. Paimon was keeping an eye on you and your safety during the whole experiment. Not that Paimon would have been able to do much if things had gone wrong. But anyway.
Hey! You were being nice a second ago! But you do have tasty recipes, so Paimon forgives you. And you're right, we are good friends. You have good friends too, right? Good students?
Yes. I'm fortunate too, I suppose. Anyway, moving on to the next experiments. There are all manner of alchemical items here. Keeping them in their proper place is a challenge at the best of times. A while ago, I had the misfortune of misplacing a batch. I managed to retrieve the majority, but 2 vials have been evading me. Animal crystal fly elemental extract and electrohypostasis powder.
Paimon's barely finished eating and you want us to go gathering again?
Don't worry if you can't locate them. I was planning to replace them anyway. Though finding them would save me the hassle. If you had, say, a superpower, like night vision or vibratory sensing, lost property would be a thing of the past. I must have dropped them somewhere in the area where you were looking just now.
So, guess we'd better take a look. Oh, yeah! This must be electrohypostasis powder. The extract of an animal crystal fly can only be animal element.
Goodness. You managed to find them. Incredible. 1,000 thanks. I'm wondering, this elemental sight, this is what allowed you to locate the items and find me here on the mountains, correct?
Yep. Guess it does sort of count as a superpower, huh?
Unfortunately, though elemental sight is seldom seen, it is not unheard of in Teyvat. Only a never-before-seen otherworldly power would be of benefit to my research.
You mean, we failed again?
Don't be disheartened. This falls entirely within my expectations. Besides, getting these items back, I'd call this a very worthwhile experiment. I have to commend your deduction that the items would contain elemental traces. Right then. Up until now, our research has focused on your otherworldly identity. Our research on your identity as one of us is just beginning. In essence, the differences between humans are reflected in our intellectual and physical capabilities. Let's start with physical. Looking out from where we're standing, can you see what Sucrose is doing? And if you jump from here and landed on that cliff, the one over there, could you see her then? So what about if you planted a single blow on the mountain face here, and it burst into 1,000,000 fragments? Then could you see her? Then I shouldn't get too excited. Still, we'll gain a more thorough understanding with an experiment. I know of a location that will be perfect for a physical test. Please, follow me.
Still in one piece! Good thing the vial's so strong!
What's the hurry?
You want us to jump? From up here?
Not necessarily. Not if you know of a better method, that is. Whichever method you choose, the experiment will end when you reach the opposite shore of the lake. I will factor the time expended and your top speed into my comparative analysis. Without limitations, we complete tasks intuitively, using the method that seems most rational to us. Some of us would be unable to stand the icy waters. Others might find the whole thing rather refreshing. No matter what choice you make, it's all a part of the experiment. For me, every detail is invaluable. Then if you would, please, I eagerly await the results.
Wait a minute. While we're busy testing, what exactly are you gonna be doing?
Me? Recording data, responding to risks, providing, emotional support.
So if we do decide to go swimming, you gonna dive in with us?
No. Unless you're thinking of conducting competitive research?
Oh! Forget Paimon said anything.
What's the hurry? What's the hurry?
Great work. I've never seen a performance quite like it. Your reputation precedes you, Traveler. The data shows that you're easily outperforming the average citizen in Mondstadt.
But you followed us the whole way without breaking a sweat!
Me? Actually, I used alchemy to cheat a little. But anyway, if it turns out that the natural laws of Tavad do not affect you, I should be able to make various inferences about the otherworldly civilization you belong to. If the natural laws of Tavad do affect you, then I shall be able to make inferences into the kind of evolution that would occur under the absence of such effects. The innumerable possibilities that this could present, the captivating insights, it would be something to savor again and again.
But how does this help your research?
You've helped me to unravel many of the problems that were holding it back. When we return to the campsite, I should be able to show you something interesting. I may be about to make some analogies between you and a few unusual specimens. I hope you won't be offended. Gold, petrified trees, a sun 8 times the size of our own. The essence of the investigative process is enthralling, but such feelings are inevitably fleeting in nature. I'm willing to pour all my energy into research, and yet specimens are finite. As the unknown transitions into the realm of scientific understanding, the feeling of enlightenment is lost. All these things that start out as objects of fascination end up possessing the prosaic mundanity of a sunsetia or a sweet flower. They cease to be noteworthy.
Oh, so that's why you wanted to sketch those hilly churls? Because you got to see something new and interesting in the differences between them?
Precisely. To quote my exact words from earlier, these creatures are, for the most part, quite boring, not worth closer inspection. There is precious little about them that serves to pique my curiosity now.
So after all these experiments, are we gonna be, like, boring to you? Like sketches?
Of course not. You have been of great assistance to me, and I will remember this friendship for a lifetime. Now, before we head back to the campsite, there's one more experiment. Intelligence. Follow me. There are some other ruins nearby. I imagine you must have encountered more than a few conundrums during your travels. I'd like to observe your intelligence by means of a practical test of your capabilities. Much as we did, I'd like you to explore these ruins and return with your findings. There are 2 puzzles located at the far ends of the ruins. After completion, you should be able to activate the mechanism in the center. As with the physical test, there are no restrictions. Everything you do is an action I wish to observe. Remember that this is a test of intellect, so should you get lucky in any way, that won't be factored in as part of the test. So, let's see you in action. Start wherever you like. It's a complex environment, so proceed with caution. Sealy like these are a common sight in the mountains. Returning them to their rightful places is up to you.
What's the hurry?
By royal I summon thee!
I swear by my sword!
Freeze!
It should now be possible to activate the central mechanism. Exactly what will happen when you do is something I'm looking forward to finding out. Oh, seems that the water level has suddenly decreased. We should be able to see... What's this? To the best of my knowledge, these belong to a script of some kind. They can be found all over Teyvat, but they've never given up their secrets. There's still a lot to learn about them. And as for why they should ever have come to rest here, a true mystery. Let me make a copy first. I'll make time to go over them in greater detail after our research.
Another thing for the don't understand list. Unsolvable mystery this, weird experiment that. It'd be nice to get some cool results for once. Seems like if you want the reward, you gotta pay the price.
I've truly gained a lot from all this. Comparatively, the little reward I can offer is too small to mention. Let me return to the campsite first. By the time you get back, I may just have a fleeting miracle for you to witness.
Paimon's kinda looking forward to seeing the results of all this brain ache. Unless you can think of anything better to do, let's head back to the campsite.
Not so fast. You're not leaving until I'm convinced that nothing dangerous is going on here.
You didn't leave the mountain?
I most certainly did not. And I've witnessed everything that you and Albedo have been up to. I must say, you let your guards down. Or maybe you were drawn in by his compelling-sounding hypothesis and friendly demeanor. Taking orders from a complete stranger? Drinking anonymous potions? Participating in all kinds of strange experiments? I'd sooner believe you were tricked than that you would be so naive. Or perhaps, you were colluding from the beginning.
Listen, sister, your guard's so high you can't even see over the top of it.
It doesn't matter what you think. He could be a saint for all you know. But I understand him a little better than you, Outlander. I'm only concerned with one thing. Whether his alchemy has transformed you into something more sinister.
No way! Paimon would have sensed it. And anyway, he didn't even use any alchemy.
With an alchemist of his level, you wouldn't sense a thing. In any case, I'm not about to let a potential threat back into Mondstadt.
So, what are you gonna do?
I've got to hand it to you. You have your moments. If I can be sure that nothing you came into contact with is dangerous, that's good enough for me. I've investigated everything else. The only items left on the agenda are these symbols.
But we don't even know what they mean.
That much is true. Not to mention, seems like there's nothing more to them. But for insurance purposes, I'd better make a copy. This is now a location of interest. Regular patrols should be set up here. Now then, all things considered, I deem that you pose no immediate threat. Which is what I was hoping. I would have been one very unhappy sister if you'd made me work overtime on your account.
Overtime?
Before we go our separate ways, Outlander, a word of advice. Don't be so quick to trust Albedo, and don't repeat the same mistakes that you did this time. You made a lot of rash decisions today.
She's gone! So stubborn. Mondstadt doesn't have many people like that. Huh. Never mind her. Let's go see Albedo!
You're back. Good timing. I've just about reached the conclusion. You took quite a while. Did you get held up on the way back? Time for the results. We got a myriad of data today, and it was very difficult to finish all the research in one go. But the integral preliminary conclusion that I can offer you is you're very much like a human from this world.
You couldn't tell that just by looking? We spent all day working our butts off for that?
Please, I understand that this may have seemed self-evident to you, but in fact, nothing in this world should be taken for granted. Have you ever considered that the world of Teyvat may have a natural hostility to Outlanders? I mentioned the natural laws of this world. You're able to converse with me here without consequence, and nothing seems amiss. But it's arguably a small miracle. The only other life form that, like you, has come here from afar is the seed that I mentioned. Under the effects of Teyvat's natural laws, it isn't even able to sprout, let alone bloom. But after I observed you, I had another idea. Imitating you helped to inspire my alchemy. And so...
Whoa! It looks like something's appearing!
The transition from nothing into something, from shoot to stem, and now to fruition. Is not nurturing otherworldly life also nurturing the world itself?
Aww.
It would seem that that's as far as we go. A transient bloom of incomparable beauty. Life's proudest achievement.
Paimon thought, with all our efforts, it might have bloomed forever, and it didn't even have any fruit.
Life is a manifold tapestry of free entities. Its value shouldn't derive from how long it stays with us. Even a momentary burst is precious. A short life can be well lived. A life lived efficiently, lived to perfection, is necessarily one unburdened by loneliness. So, do you understand what I meant about us conversing here arguably being a small miracle?
Things feel a little heavy right now. Don't be sad. You've got Paimon to look after you. Albedo, Paimon really wants to be your friend.
Thank you both. Even if dispelling loneliness is not essential for life, it certainly doesn't hurt. Your help inspired me to discover the means to make a flower bloom. I mean that the time I've spent traveling with you in the mountains was a valuable journey for me. In the future, if the need arises, can I solicit your help again? Well, glad I can count on you. I made a point throughout of telling her how ordinary the results were. But what was that sediment I saw forming at the bottom of the vial? It should not have been there. What could it mean? Those born of Earth are bound by its imperfections, but those born of chalk are free of impurities. You and I are alike, both composed of a substance that has yet to be fully defined. If, one day, I lose control, destroy Mondstadt, destroy everything, can I rely on you to stop me?
Let's see how our fellow explorers are doing. Are you here to explore the snowy mountain too? You scared me. Please, don't scare me like that. I was giving my research report some much-needed consideration. But you were just standing over there, staring into space. Not at all. I was just thinking of a name for a new subspecies of sweet flower I propagated. It has seeds that are 4 times as large. Oh, are you interested? It's a shame. If I wasn't coming to this mountain, I would have brought... Yeah. Weren't you doing research in the city? Timaeus and I were helping Albedo organize research data. Sure didn't. He said that he wasn't as sharp as Albedo when it came to data. By quite a long shot, in fact. The significance of some things Albedo is able to grasp almost immediately. But we, on the other hand, take considerable time. I fear that this must be... Timaeus seemed rather depressed about the matter. He said he was going to... I was originally going to take a look around myself after finishing up here, but unexpectedly, I gleaned some interesting data from these reports. But, well... Guess... Secrets? Ooh, what secrets? Actually, do you two have time right now? Don't have anything on us but that. Then, could I ask you for a favor? In truth, I feel like Albedo is concealing something from myself and Timaeus. But isn't he your teacher? What would a teacher have to hide from his students? That's true, but I feel like he's always hiding something. It is my personal guess that... Wait, how are you so sure? Timaeus and I are both passionate researchers of alchemy. If it was anything else, Albedo wouldn't have any reason to hide it from us. You do have a point. Could you help me investigate what it is that Albedo's hiding? Please. I'm just... What do you think? Yes. Thank you. All right. Let's take...
Why are you here? Are you lost?
No, we're not.
A secret?
Hey, what are you doing? Our mission calls for a delicate approach. Sure, but still.
Actually, you've arrived at just the right moment. I have business with you too, in fact. Here, catch.
Huh? What's this?
As you can see, it is a sword. I did not make the sword. However, I did add some alchemical touches to it. Would you like to try it out? My research indicates that this sword has some unique properties. Only you can use it, but I need to gather data from it quite urgently. So, could I bother you to use it in battle?
Wait a second! How can there be a sword that only one person can use?
Very astute of you. This sword has indeed had a curse laid upon it. An ordinary person would be unable to wield it at all. However, you are an exception.
Huh?
Or perhaps I should say that only you are immune to the curse. As such, who could I find to help me if not you? We gain little from saying more. Go find some monsters nearby. After all, some things are best discovered through practice. How about those over there?
I still has a bad feeling about this. My royal
Wait, hear me.
Over here! It's with this brat! Give it back, you thief!
Treasure hoarders? There are treasure hoarders in a place this cold?
Enough talk! Hand it over!
Watch out!
There's no end to this.
Wait, hear me.
Midnight Phantasmagoria! Bubba, get them!
That was almost hard.
Nice and spicy!
Another test subject. Suffocate! Suffocate!
Nice and spicy!
Tingle? I got
Race you!
I got careless. I got careless. I got careless.
Now that's rich! Treasure hoarders calling us thieves?
They certainly arrived quickly. Goodness, no.
They seem to have been talking about this sword. What's going on?
Why are you looking at me like that? Of course I didn't steal the sword. Not long ago, the Knights caught a band of treasure hoarders outside the city. The goods they were smuggling were also impounded. This sword was one of those items. We believed it to be stolen plunder, but no one came to claim it. Nor could we find out where it came from, so it languished in our stores. I noticed it quite by chance while in our storehouse. To tell you the truth, such an old sword would see little use outside of alchemy.
You claimed it for yourself? Just like that? So, then what happened? You just took it with you?
Indeed. And I initially intended to perform some experiments on it, but I unexpectedly discovered its true origins in the process. This ancient-looking weapon once passed through the hands of a now-deceased blacksmith. It is a legendary, magical sword.
A magical sword?
It is said that the smith vanished not long after creating the weapon, with the weapon subsequently becoming lost to time. Working backwards from its eventual fate as plunder, one can guess that it was then stolen by the treasure hoarders, where it remained in obscurity till recently.
The blacksmith who made this weapon disappeared? That's kinda spooky. No wonder it's cursed.
Exactly. Do you know the story of Durin in this mountain? Durin was the black dragon who menaced Mondstadt, before finally being defeated by the combined efforts of the Valen and the Animo Archon Barbados. After a fierce battle, the vanquished Durin crashed to ruin here, falling into the thick snow. Snow gathers atop this mountain and never melts, which is a most curious phenomenon. Which leads one to wonder, was Durin's fall here purely by chance, or was it intent?
Could it really have been intent?
Perhaps this place was chosen as a gravesite precisely so that the snow's power could seal the corrosive toxin coming from Durin's body. It seems plausible that Barbados would think of such a method.
Huh. Was Barbados such a capable god?
Well, these are just my postulations. I don't have any evidence. But what's for certain is that this mountain and Durin are deeply intertwined. In fact, I believe that the very sword in your hand has Durin's remains in it.
A dragon's remains?
Indeed. The dragon's eyes, claws, and scales ground into dust before being used to coat the blade. In this way, Durin's corruption and venom entered into the sword and became the source of its power. This is very advanced craftsmanship. I presume that having successfully forged the weapon, the smith must have tried it out themselves in their joy. But using the sword in battle would have allowed the corruption to seep through the blade's handle and into their bodies. Ordinary mortals cannot withstand such power. The blacksmith must then have fled, driven mad by the curse, before meeting their end in some unknown place. You've purified the volunteers before, which is a very rare ability indeed. This ability has protected you from being corrupted or poisoned, and you can completely eliminate their effects, which is why you and only you can properly wield this sword.
Still, this sword really is huge. Yikes! It's glowing!
As far as I'm concerned, this is where the real experiment begins. This sword is still very weak at present. However, it is able to absorb energy, and through that, it is able to constantly become stronger. In some sense, you could even say that it is a living thing. Well then, traveler, adventure with it to your heart's content. I need you to help it grow. I believe that we will soon have all the proof that we need.
Can't decide whether pyro slimes taste better with salt and pepper. Or garlic and herbs.
What's the hurry? Frostbite.
Seems all the other night.
Freeze! Dodge this! What's the hurry? Freeze! Freeze!
By royal decree, I silk nice and spicy. I swear by my sword.
What's the hurry?
By Royal Gooba! Get the
What's the hurry? Freeze! This moment will be frozen in time. Don't push your luck.
By Royal
Wind, hear me.
Midnight Phantasmagoria.
Barely a scratch! By Royal Decree, I summon thee!
No rest for the weak.
Hear me.
Barely a scratch! Eat this! Shadow Raven, let night fall!
What's the hurry?
Nice and spicy!
What's the hurry? What's the hurry? What's the hurry? Freeze! Freeze! Don't get frostbite.
Oh, it's ripping out, It's
Dodge this! What's the hurry?
Wings of darkness! Come, sever night from day!
Most of you out there know that we're the official podcast. But did you know that we're not the only podcast? No, I'm not messing with you. And I'm going to tell you about another podcast right now called An Oral History of The Office. The podcast is hosted by Brian Baumgartner, who plays Kevin Malone. The series goes into the making of The Office and how it ultimately overcame all odds to change the face of television. It features interviews with the cast and creators with never-before-heard stories from those who were there from the very beginning. You can check out An Oral History of The Office for free only on Spotify. That's An Oral History of The Office on Spotify.
Give us a nice Japanese intro, Andrew. Arigato oni-chan, please.
I think you just did it right there. That was perfect.
Don't be a piece of shit, just do it.
Konnichiwa, my fellow men. Welcome, podcast Gaijin.
Before
So
Andrew
much
says
for
something
you.
racist. Yeah.
So much for you learning
really.
Japanese. What happened? You're gonna go to Japan, you're gonna just put your foot in your mouth when you're over there, insult people, get lynched by the Yakuza or the Triads, whichever one is the Japanese.
It's hard, man. It's fucking hard. There's no connections whatsoever to English. So a lot of people, when they learn new languages, they're like, oh yeah, I'll learn Spanish, maybe some German, French. What they don't realize is that they have connections. There's root words, there's shared words, there's all that shit. Going from English to Japanese, there's literally nothing except a few words Japan borrowed, and that's it.
Oh, game over. Game over.
Oh, there's a lot of phrases they've borrowed. Absolutely, like pineapple is just pineapple, which is just pineapple, but in a Japanese pronunciation. That's it.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot in
there's a
anime.
bunch.
Is they talk Japanese and then somewhere someone just drops the word like
Yeah,
that is
that's
English.
how it is. That's exactly what it is. They take English words and they put them in Japanese pronunciation, so it's the same word but just said differently. Yeah. That's exactly
That sounds
what
like
it
an
is.
offensive stereotype, not an actual translation.
But that's how you say it. That's the funny part.
It's true though. Yeah, I noticed a
So
lot
they
from
did it to themselves?
Jackson. Remember when a couple of weeks ago we talked about the language roots of Turkish and how it's just this cobbled together language? Turns out a lot of languages are like that. It's weird, man. I don't know. Andrew, you and I should do sort of a presentation. You on Japanese, me on Spanish, and I'm trying to learn American Sign Language. Turns out that deaf people aren't. They're like a gang. They don't really like you joining their gang. It's kind of weird as a hearing person to try and learn sign language. They don't appreciate it at all, apparently.
Why?
Really?
I don't know about that.
That just sounds
otherwise.
That just sounds helpful. Yeah.
Dude, so I'm doing my research. I'm looking up, okay, sign language I want to learn. Okay, it's called American Sign Language, ASL, yada yada. So I'm thinking, okay, why do they keep capitalizing the word deaf? DEAF.
Oh,
it's always
okay.
capitalized.
So you're just learning just to threaten death people and like throw slurs at them and shit.
I'm not trying to threaten
their
them.
language.
Why'd you jump to that conclusion? No, I'm trying to learn
Because
this.
you're talking about death.
Deaf, as in not hearing.
Oh, right.
Catch the
Okay,
wind.
that makes sense. Yeah.
DEAF. And I'm thinking, why do they keep capitalizing this word? And turns out that deaf, some of them have the subculture basically of people who can't hear called the deaf culture. And they're just really close-knit, you know. I actually saw, like I said, I need to prepare for this presentation for next week maybe if you guys want to hear about it, but I saw Reddit threads with people replying to people trying to learn sign language for their deaf spouses, and I saw replies saying shit like, how dare you, this is not your culture to join. They're radical about this. Yeah.
That's so fucked.
How are they meant to communicate with anyone but themselves? then?
Really?
Isn't that the whole point of the language, is to like cross the border so that you can communicate normally with other people?
Man, you think, but so I started because I thought I like the beginning of things. I like learning the first few steps and then never touching shit again. So I was drunk watching John Wick 2 for the 17th time. You know how Ruby Rose is in it and she's mute? She uses sign language, and I thought, well, that looks kind of cool. I want to learn that. So I googled John Wick 2, deaf, ASL, Reddit, whatever, and there's just these whole Reddit threads shitting on her for not doing it properly.
I like how when you go to learn sign language, you make sure to include John Wick 2 in your search.
The John Wick training course.
Okay, so I just wanted to see, like, I wonder if they did it properly, because, you know, John, in that scene, he does it one-handed, he has a drink in his right hand, or left, whatever. they're so angry at that scene, like, well, you know, Ruby Rose's sign language is so sloppy. You know, the director could have hired someone like me, for example. I would have flown out personally on my own, out of my own pocket, to teach Ruby Rose how to properly sign language. This is unacceptable. They're really hardcore about this, man, and I just don't know why.
That's weird.
That is a little weird to make that like super hard line in the sand, like if you don't do it perfectly, you're not welcome to do it at all or learn. That seems very odd to me.
They say the same shit about, what was that movie with the super hearing monsters? A Quiet Place. That movie...
What's the hurry?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, they're really aggressive about their turf. And it's not like I want to be deaf.
That's a weird one, though. A Quiet Place is a weird one though, because they actually did hire a deaf person to play the role of the daughter.
That's true.
She also didn't she also have she has a hearing aid so she can hear if she wants to.
A little
in the
bit,
show?
maybe? I don't know.
That's a good
in
moral
real
question
life.
for them. What do they think
real
about
life.
hearing aids and people who are only like 99% deaf and then they use hearing aids to get their hearing back?
I don't know if Kaya can talk on it, but going on Reddit, I actually saw something about that.
Really?
There's a community, well,
What's
I don't
the
know if it's a whole community, but I don't remember what I was reading. There was a deaf person who has like a hearing assistant to actually be able to hear things, and there was just this huge movement in the thread, in the comment section about this, about why it's so immoral and how it makes deaf people feel inferior, like that they're reliant on needing to hear, and how evil the person is for accepting help like that when they should just remain deaf.
We should clarify that this is probably like a very small percentage of the deaf community.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know if it, I don't even, I don't know if it's like a whole
is-
community or anything. But
You
it
know
was
what it
super
is
weird
more
to read
specifically, though, right? It's a very large portion of the jealous community. Because it's the people who go, well, I can't hear. Why are they able to hear now?
I don't think that's
So-
it, because if I remember,
I guarantee you
I
it's
don't know
petty
about that.
jealousy.
So
I
Jackson-
guarantee it.
The upside is we can talk as much shit about them as we want, because they're never gonna hear this. So fuck the deaf community. But man, it's just weird. I first noticed this when I was on Twitter, and there was this really adorable video of this girl, I guess she's deaf, and she taught her dog sign language to, you know, she was signing sit down or whatever, reach me your paw, give me your paw, and the dog understood her sign language. Super adorable, had like 100,000 likes. Underneath the reply, she's going, you know what, you don't have to feel sorry for me. I'm happy to be deaf, and I don't want to change.
What's the hurry?
I'm just thinking...
That's fine.
No, it isn't. What the fuck do you mean I'm happy to be deaf? What kind of... You can't
No,
be...
she's saying she's happy to be who she is.
Yeah.
She's accepted, like...
She was a lot more aggressive
she's
than
accepted
that.
her flaws.
What's the hurry?
You can say you
I
can
guess.
cope with it. You can say something like, I don't even notice it anymore. You know, if somebody has a leg missing or something, and they have a prosthetic leg, you could say, I don't even notice it anymore, man. I can even run and sprint or whatever. But I'm happy to be deaf? Okay. Now you're getting a little weird.
Again,
No one's happy about a disability.
You've got to read this. You've got to read the nuances there. She's not. I don't think she was necessarily saying she's happy that she's been cursed with deafness from birth. She's just
See,
saying
that's a
she's
big
happy
offense.
to be the person who she is.
You can't say that she's been cursed with deafness. I guess you have to imply that it's a blessing or that she's just exalted. I don't know. She doesn't need her hearing.
I don't know. You're kind of reading into like one sentence that she's trying to say to sum up her life experience at this point.
No, I'm reading
I
it too.
think
Threads
I think
upon
that's a fine
threads on
message.
Reddit calling me a motherfucker for trying to learn this thing.
I think maybe what it is she's getting the wrong idea about the support and considering it that she's considering that people are giving it to her just because she's deaf. Like it's, you know, it's a video of of her teaching her dog tricks. And normally people go, oh, that's cute, but I think she's taking it from the angle of people are going, oh, you're deaf and teaching your dog? That's so cute and brave. Wow. I think that's what she's getting upset about.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Well, that was fun. There was one segment where we're guaranteed not to offend anybody, so that's an upside. Unless they listen with closed captions on YouTube or something. I don't know why they would just watch it, but there you go. All right.
All right. So should we?
Andrew, do you have your topic thing?
I do, actually. Boys, I spent many months in the lab with my friend who writes music, and we have also come up with a jingle for our brand new starting segment of getting to know the boys, where we ask each other opening questions. So Kaya, if you could play that for me. I sent it before the show.
You didn't fill out the form for who's gonna be the live interpreter for this jingle?
I know I don't have all the checks and balances in place, but I think maybe we can just sneak it in there real quick.
You don't care
bonus,
about people with disabilities. Is it GTK, TB?
It's the... Yeah, it should be the first one.
Alright, here we go,
There,
everyone.
the GT,
New jingle!
Getting to know the boys! Months and months of music technology put into that jingle.
I can tell.
Sounded like Sugar Ray there on the vocals. Who was that, Andrew?
Oh man, I can't disclose his name. He's a very private studio musician who doesn't do it for the fame. He does it for making music.
That was really experimental. Like, is that Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor? Is that what I'm hearing?
From what I was told, I heard that the artists were going for a new genre that hasn't even been discovered yet. So I wish them well on that endeavor.
Deaf music.
Can you play it again? Can you play it again louder? So
Yeah, play it again a little louder so everyone can enjoy it.
Can I play it again louder? Your wish is my command.
Getting to know the boys.
It sounds like a...
That's so cute.
Like a sitcom intro.
It sounds more like my drunk friend doing karaoke at the open bar.
So when I asked for the intro, I
that's true.
specifically said I wanted instrumentation that would sound like what you'd hear on PBS, like on a local station that plays nothing but low budget, terrible programming, and then I was gonna scream over it. So that's what we got.
Well, we're
Made in a
awesome
whopping 10
programming.
minutes. Oh, it's great. It's great. So anyway, this Channel 5 special, right after your local news, is called Getting to Know the Boys. And today's open-ended question for the four of us is, if you knew you were going to die, and you were going to leave behind one masterpiece, just one thing you were known for, it could be anything. It could be an accomplishment, a quote. I'm not fucking done. Could be a quote, an accomplishment, anything. You could invent something. You could have a personality trait. Doesn't have to be a tangible thing. What would you want to be known for?
Personality trait? I don't want that on my tombstone. Like, here's the
how
douchebag
meaningless would
drunk.
that be?
No, what, Gaia? You could die. You could die, and people would know you as literally the coolest guy who ever lived.
Useless. It's not tangible.
Yeah, that is
but
useless.
you're dead.
but-
You'll be
Nothing's gonna be
dead.
tangible
Tangible
for
doesn't
you.
matter to you,
Yeah, but okay, who's the nicest man in history?
Mr. Rogers.
Alright, you win.
That's a good point.
Yeah, get
he
fucked.
got you there. He's commonly still referred to.
Exactly. So if you had to leave behind one masterpiece of anything, could be an idea, could be a thing you made, a TV show, or even a fucking invention, anything.
I'm the person that brought Mr. Rogers back to life. I get the credit for it.
That's
I
a
like
pretty
being
good
the
answer.
villain anti-hero. I'll be the person who kills him
Oh,
again.
here we go.
Put him back in the ground where he belongs.
So you've just completely invalidated my life's work. Immediately. We're like in the lab together, I finally bring him back and you put a bullet straight back into his brain.
It's unnatural, damn it. The dead weren't meant to walk.
Oh, I could be the person to create like a Jurassic Park but of dead celebrities.
Ooh, that's a good idea,
that is,
actually.
Yeah, that is really good. So it's like Westworld,
sweet.
basically. Kinda.
Kind of, but I'll give them large enclosures and make sure the security is top notch so they don't escape.
Enclosures. It's like Michael Jackson. Can I please get out of here? You're standing there at the door with a cattle prod, tasing him back.
Oh, that's gonna make the kitchen scene with the two kids really, really bad.
Oh.
If he's roaming the kitchen scene while two kids are hiding.
Oh god, that's fucked. So
But
Jackson,
yeah, that's what I'll do. That's actually a pretty good idea.
so
now that I
your
think about
idea
it.
is a theme park of dead celebrities brought back to life.
Well, no, they're alive now. I've
they're
brought 'em back.
alive. Gotcha.
I caught mosquitoes in the Triassic period and then extracted their DNA from it or something.
You got the rape kits from Michael Jackson's trial.
I spliced it. How did they do it in the movie? They splice it with frog DNA, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
something
they,
like that.
With monkey DNA.
They use other reptiles, and then that's in the new Jurassic Parks where they're like, oh, we put in some bat and some octopus and all that shit. That was the whole plot point.
But it was the same principle in the original trilogy. They used just frog DNA though.
Yeah.
Why frog DNA? I don't remember that.
Because they were like the closest, like, biological link or something.
Surely, because
Is
some
that
writer looked at
scientifically
frogs,
accurate?
he decided these are green and slimy. They look like dinos, right, guys? Well, let's just use that.
Yeah.
All I remember is the frog thing fucked them up because then the dinosaurs could breed asexually and they started fucking each other, and that's what led to there being so many velociraptors or something.
Wait, they fucked
if
they fucked each other, they're not asexually breeding.
Well, no, I mean I don't know how they fucked, but
Well, yeah, that was
they
the
weren't
whole
meant to be
point.
out of breed. They
was,
weren't meant to be out of breed,
That,
but then
yeah,
the frog link.
it was because they
fucked it
were
up.
all female. In the first movie, every dinosaur was
But
female.
then, oh yeah,
so
that's
they
right.
couldn't
Then they could
reproduce.
change sex though because of the frog DNA. So some of them were changing the male to get fucked, or fuck, and then create
fucked. Okay. How about you, Charlie?
I don't know what I would
So
do.
I won't let that happen with my celebrities. They won't be able to change
They won't.
genders.
They'll
or
all be
anything.
female and they can't fuck each other.
Only Jackson. Jackson just fucks all the celebrities.
Who am I gonna fuck today? Do I fuck Bill Hader or Bill Cosby?
It's just
Well, Bill Cosby's not dead yet.
This is in the future when Jackson dies.
Bill Cosby might still be alive.
That's true.
True.
That's true. He is
Well,
stealing other people's essence.
if I'm able to bring back dead celebrities, I don't see why there'd be any reason why I can't bring back living celebrities. either.
Jackson, you just
I'll have them-
want to fuck Leslie Nielsen. Let's be honest.
Who?
You just want to fuck Leslie Nielsen.
Oh hell yeah! You kidding me?
And
Who
I
wouldn't?
no, I do too. It's fine.
Can you like put me in an enclosure full of
meant to
just
say it.
Ariana Grandes? There's a bunch of them.
That will be part of our VIP ticket. You'll
Okay.
have to pay top dollar for that. That's
I
part
will.
of the monetization.
I'll empty my life savings.
Alright, that's what I'm known for.
All right,
Charlie.
I'll go next for. Oh, I was gonna go for Jack Order.
Well, I'm
but
trying
that's
to
okay.
think of one.
Sorry,
so
yeah,
it's,
you're right.
it's fine if you
I'll
want
go
to
ahead. I honestly probably want to make a cast of characters that I'm known for, like how you have Walt Disney and all of his shit, and you have like Harry Potter and all that shit, and Dragon Ball. I don't know how I'd want to, what medium it would be, but I just want to make a ragtag group of characters, cartoons, or people, or what the fuck ever, and just have people know me for that. Because then you can, because that opens up everything. That's how you get theme parks and movies and comics and fan fiction, and art and everything.
Give us
So
one
that's
right
what I would
now.
want. Flex Big Arms. He's the world's strongest man, but the one thing he's not strong enough to grasp is love.
Charlie, you told me you didn't share our Bible with anyone.
Wait, is that a really hard Turbo character?
We
Just made
can't
that up on the
discuss
spot.
Andrew's gonna charge you for it.
Oh,
now.
I'm suing the shit
That's
out of
his
you guys
idea.
now. I mean, Hard Turbo could be in it. Yeah, he could be part of the expanded universe. Why not?
Oh, you can't have hard turbo. You didn't even pay us for the rights.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Absolutely.
Oh, you're
Absolutely
saying
not. You are DC?
Are you?
No.
You're saying it wouldn't be an honor to be in my big expanded universe, opening my 8th theme park with all my characters? You're telling me you wouldn't want that?
No.
Hard turbo will have vastly surpassed that.
You're telling me that
Yeah,
if
I can't wait to go on the Flex Big Arm ride or whatever. you call it.
if I open Andrew World in, I don't know, Syracuse.
Sounds nightmarish.
Fuck yeah. But you're telling me you wouldn't want a section of the park called Hard Turbo Land? Come on.
That's just a bunch of people in goofy suits molesting kids.
It's just people dressed like me acting like assholes as you come into the park. It's a park made by me for me and no one else.
Hey, little Timmy.
But that is still my answer. I would want to create
So far,
characters
so
in
far,
the
two
universe.
of us have opened parks. Me and you, Andrew,
Yeah,
were opening
yeah,
parks.
yeah. That's a good point. They're just good. They're just good legacies, man. To have a theme park with your ideas in it.
Yeah, I do. I eventually want to open a theme park. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Charlie, do you
It's
have
not
one?
exactly like something feasible though. It takes like
Yeah, I can do it.
Fair enough. At the Patreon.
Yeah, all right.
So Jackson wants a dead celebrity theme park. I want a universe and cast of characters people will recognize. Charlie, what's your answer?
I don't know, maybe create like a new form of life that coexists with humans, so then they'd always be attributed back to me.
That's a really good idea, actually.
Oh, yeah, you could be the god of them.
You can learn to
Exactly.
fuck them and show everyone else how to.
I put them in
Why does it
Jackson
always
Zoo.
come to fucking them?
Why wouldn't you fuck it? That's the point.
Yeah, that's the whole point
This
of human
new alien
trials.
life form has been created with the purpose of being fucked. That you don't sound like a very benevolent god to me.
Hey,
Why
God
was I
created us with the
created to
intention of
suck my
fucking us.
dick? You create life to make it suck
He doesn't
your cock.
directly fuck
I love
us.
that. Oh, that's a really good answer,
So,
though. That's got a lot to it.
What does a life form look like, Charlie? Have you thought about the logistics of creating this life form?
Yeah, after crunching numbers and stuff, trying to figure out the best way, I don't know, they probably look like... Probably like those... You remember sea monkeys from Rugrats, the way they looked in the cartoon? Probably somewhere in that general ballpark.
Mermaids?
Kinda.
Oh,
Do they look like mermaids?
No, not really. They look more like fleas. I never said they'd be like on equal footing as humans. Maybe they're even discriminated against, but it'd at least be like a sentient group of living beings.
Do you mean the box art for the sea monkeys, or the actual sea monkeys themselves that look like disgusting little bugs?
No,
Well, he
don't.
said they
those
look like
brine
fleas,
shrimp?
so I assume he means...
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
the fuck?
Why would you want them to
they're
look
not-
like that?
Well,
Why would you want to fuck that?
Well, we're speaking
Yeah.
realistically. I don't think I could make something on